Give you a few laughs. I hope just looking at me ought to give you a chuckle. Group 1 prototype series. It's all this has been a recent addition that they've made on Gran Turismo 7, and I ran it once with my other profile, and now the 20. That's how badly I did, and hopefully I'll do a little better today. I don't know, can't guarantee nothing about that, but I'm going to give it a try, see what I can do here. I'm going to be running a Porsche L750R prototype. It's a hybrid, and I'm hoping by running this hybrid to get a little better gas mileage. And it's at Watkins, Glen, which I like his racetrack. I really do, whether I do any good or not. I like this racetrack. We will have to make a pit stop or two. So let's have a race. I hope everybody's doing all right. Tuned in and you like what you see. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about just the Gran Turismo 7. It ain't nothing like but looking at me, that's for darn sure. But anyhow, give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it, and maybe you'll see your way clear to give a subscribe. All right, let's start this race at Watkins Glen. I'll regale you with some tall tales. Well, they won't be too tall. Well, there might be. You got to remember, I was a sailor for a long time. That's why I'm wearing this old Dixie cup. The car I'm driving, it's running about, I don't know, 888 performance points, and this is a 950 point performance points race. So these other cars will be a lot more power than I am, and it's going to be a challenge trying to keep up with them and to keep ahead of them at all if I can. Lordy mercy. Look at this, buddy. Now this race is getting bad here. Competitive. Yes, sirree. Look at that. Fine looking cars. Now I did the paint job on this car myself. They call it livery. My good old number 77. And I'll try to get you a better look of it here when I get on a place where I can change the angle of the camera. Maybe right here. See, there's my car. And there it is sitting in the cockpit. I'm on the hood, and there I am back in the position that I prefer to drive from, because it's hard to control it in the third person. First lap after this next curve up here. On the right will be the pit lane. Not doing too awful bad. I moved up a couple cars. Hell, yeah, buddy. I tell you, ain't that some paint job on that car? Ooh, buddy. You know, I actually painted a car one time over in Spain using a spray can paint and out in the parking lot. And needless to say, it didn't turn out too good. It was an old Volkswagen station wagon. Had what they call a pancake engine. It was back in the back of the car, and it was flat in the back of that station wagon, and that was a good little car. It was. I liked that car, but I didn't treat it exactly right. I went to a park there at Trafalgar where the Lord Nelson had his big battle, and anyhow, I was down in that park, and there was a place where a couple of big old trees there, and I thought I could make it through it if I was real careful. Well, I was real careful, but I didn't make him through them. I sandwiched that car in between them two trees. I surely did. Dented in both of my doors. Yep, almost got the darn thing stuck there between them trees. I really got almost wedged in between them trees. Oh, buddy. I was real concerned about that, but that was an interesting place. We went to camping there a couple times, and with another family, and had a good time. Interesting place, because I don't know how it is now, but back in, you couldn't be on the beaches in southern Spain there at nighttime. It was against the law because of the smugglers would come over from Africa across the Straits of Gibraltar, and I don't know if they were smuggling stuff in, smuggling them out, or both, but the Spanish police, the civil police called the La Guardia, at that time they didn't horse around, buddy. Now those guys were serious, and they carried machine guns, Uzis or whatever they had. And I know one night we were sitting around a campfire talking, and they LaGuardia stepped out of the shadows into our campfire, and they were nice, and we gave them a little coffee, and we spoke a little Spanish, broken Spanish with them, and then the next thing they faded away into the dark. But now back in those days, you was on the beach at nighttime, they'd shoot you. They surely would. And it's happened a couple times to old drunken sailors and Marines, U.S. sailors that got on that beach at nighttime, and I don't know what they did, but they ended up getting shot to death. Yes, sirree. They got killed to death right there. And it didn't happen often, but it was enough that you ought to have better sense of going down there at nighttime. It really was. But I liked it in Spain. I never had any problem running in with the law there or any place else except in Tijuana, but we won't talk about that right now. Anyhow, yeah, I liked Spain. I did. I had another car over there, a little Seat. Ooh, I like that car. I tell you, that had the smallest motor of any car I ever seen. It was a little bit. It was a Spanish-made car, and that thing. I tried to teach my daughter. I was about old enough to get her learn to drive and stuff. I was teaching her to drive, and they would close down this area there on the base where you could take the kids out and teach them to drive. And the area that closed was on the emergency landing runway for the space shuttle. Yeah, it was. And that thing it was almost a football field wide. It was huge. And that little Seat, I don't know, a Volkswagen Beetle was probably bigger than that Seat. And I was trying to teach my daughter to drive on that car, and it was a straight shift. And I think it was a 3 or 4 speed on the floor. The gear she didn't have a problem with, but she had to make a U-turn on that to go the other way and practice driving in one direction and go the other way. She could not turn that steering wheel fast enough. She was so cautious, afraid, I guess, nervous, that in that whole wide runway, it wasn't enough room for her to turn that car around. We had to get her to back it up, or I'd have to back it up and get it turned around and go the other direction, and sure enough, she'd do the same thing again. Couldn't turn that thing around on a runway that's made for running the space shuttle that was up 75 to 100 yards wide. She couldn't make a U-turn on it. Oh, it was something else. I don't think I ever did teach her how to drive. I don't know how she figured it out. I don't know. The wife must have taught her while I was out at sea or something, because it made me run a nervous wreck out of me, I'll tell you that. Whew. Teaching people to drive, that's a challenge. Well, we're doing pretty good here on this challenge. The tires look good. We're on the 5th lap. Doing a lot better than I did last time. The fuel, we got over a half a tank. We're doing real good on the fuel. Now I don't see we're in first spot. How in the world did I do that? Those other cars already hit the pit. And that's the story about this hybrid. That's the good story about it. It will. Those other guys may have to make 2 pit stops. I might have to make 1. And that is the big difference in running a hybrid. I learned it on driving a car in the 800 performance point range. It's a Porsche, which I'd use on all the 800 pp races that I'm allowed to. And that car, sometimes I get 4 laps more than the other cars. So we're cruising right along here. We got a 7-second lead from what I see on the number 2 car. Now those other cars I'm competing against are probably more powerful than this, because like I said, this is a 950 performance points race, and I'm only running about 880 performance, 888, something like that. But like, I picked the car because it's a hybrid and gets that gas mileage and do less pit stops, and like keep it on the road. I think I'll have a clean race right now. I'm not sure, but I might. I hope y'all enjoy these races. I don't know if oh, by the way, I'm going to give a shout out to a young lady who's a friend of mine for 3 or 4 years now. Her and I go fishing together on the virtual reality. Yeah, we do, on real VR fishing, it's called. And her game name is Gamebox Studios, and her and I, we fish every evening on virtual reality. Yeah, we do. We just sit and talk about everything, talk about her cats, and well, I don't know, we just sit and shoot the breeze about what we had for supper, and you know how us old folks are. And I'm not saying she's old, but she's younger than me, but she's a mighty fine lady, and I really enjoy her company, and it's really nice to have somebody to sit and chat with like that in the evening. I look forward to it, and I'm pretty sure she does too. And you know that lady's mother's still alive. Yeah, she's still alive. 99 years old. Now think about that. Yeah, her mother's 99 years old. Ooh, buddy. I'd like to spend a little time sitting down talking with that lady. She could tell some stories, I bet. Now that's lived nearly 100 years, and you know there's some stuff in that head that be mighty interesting. Yes, sir. Yeah, ain't nothing in my head too interesting. It's all mostly empty, just a lot of air up there. And you can tell that by the way I'm blowing hot air here. Oh, we're doing good. Tires still look good. Yeah, on the 7th lap here. Got a half tank of gas. Ooh, we might have to make a pit stop. Maybe have to make a pit stop. Man, why didn't I do this first time I run this? Oh, I know why I didn't do it the first time. Because I didn't have the racing assist on. That's them yellow dotted lines that show you the racing track. And then the red lines across the road you can see up here. That's the braking zone when you need to slow down a little bit. And I didn't have that stuff on because I was trying to drive without them. Well, it didn't do too darn good. I can tell you, it didn't do too good at all. Downright embarrassing is what it was. Yeah, it sure was. Yeah, over in Spain, I had a few cars over there that were, that Seat was the only Spanish car I had, and I had that Volkswagen station wagon with the pancake engine. Yeah. Even bought a Ford Ranger over there on the base. That was a lousy truck. The one I had anyhow. I had nothing but trouble out of that. I got rid of it pretty quick. Didn't do too good. And I actually, there was a person I worked with that loaned me, I didn't have a car at the time, and they loaned me their car. Actually, the woman's husband's car. She loaned it to, I didn't ask for it, she just offered it because he was going out to sea for a couple of weeks. It was a Datsun, oh, I can't remember. It had like a fastback. Nice car, and I was afraid to take it off base that it'd get damaged because, well, Spain's not a place that you get to have a car for very long without collecting a few dents. So I didn't want to take another person's car out there and have it get banged up or broke into or something. So I left it parked on the base right beside the gate in this little area where a lot of people left their cars. Well, I come in, I left that car there, and I walked up. It's about a half mile walk from where my apartment was up to where that car was parked on the base. I get up there, and there's that car, It's got a tree branch through the back window. I had parked it under a big old oak tree there, and a branch broke off, fell on that car, dented the top, and busted out the back window on that fastback. I was nearly sick. I said, hell no, I'm trying to protect the thing and be careful. It's not my car. And that happens. So I had to call the person up and tell them, and they were real nice about it. They even offered that car to me to use again. And I said, no way, Now I don't mind, I don't like having my property damaged, but damaging somebody else's property like that, oh man, that really upset me. Oh, it upset me more than the owner of the car. And getting parts over there in the Spain sometimes is a problem. Now I don't know about with that Datsun, I'd say it was. But I had a Pinto over there that I'd bought in the States, and I had to get a windshield for it. And it was a doozy of going to the stuff I had to go through to get a windshield. I had to go over to on the flight line and talk to some of this people in this one Navy squadron, and that flew back and forth to the States. And anyhow, they got the windshield for me. They surely did, and brought it back. And I went over to the hangar and picked it up. And of course, they don't charge you nothing. They just do you a little favor like that. I liked that Pinto, I really did, and I sold it while I was over there. It did pretty good for me. A lot of people say, that car was a dangerous car as far as catching on fire, but I didn't have any major problems with it. I had a timing belt break on it once, and that was I got that pretty easy. I had a big old rubber timing belt, and I learned how to put it on. I had a fella that I worked with that was a pretty good mechanic, and he helped me and got the timing all set and got that timing belt on there. I was surprised it went as smoothly as it did. We did it right there in the parking lot from my apartment. Wasn't much to it actually, but I had no idea how to do it. But that fella, California fella, I liked him. He was a good guy. Good guy. He was a good mechanic and a good paint guy. He painted painted that old Sea Yacht for me. He did. Told me how to prep the body and everything, and sand that thing down. Lord, that's a lot of work. And yeah, it's a lot of sanding to get a car ready for a paint job. Mercy. That's not something I want to do again, and I can see why they charge so much to paint a car, because I don't know what all they had, but I had to sand it by hand, and that took a while to get that right, and you getting the fine grit paper and paper that you had to get it wet to sand it, wet sanding it to get it even smoother and no scratches in it. I don't know. That fella painted that car for me, and then he put a clear coat on it, and that was a trick. Lordy, how expensive that stuff. I couldn't believe how much a quart of clear coat cost. Ooh, doggies. Man, that was a lot. Fortunately, it doesn't take a whole lot to do a car, but still, man. And that was, we're talking about back in, I don't know, what was this? Mid-70s, I reckon. I believe it might have been the 80s, I don't know. I can't recollect, but maybe it was the 80s that had done that. Late 80s. But it was darn expensive, and well, the late 80s don't seem that long ago to me, but I guess it's been a spell. That was something else. A lot of good folks that'll help you in the service. The military sort of sticks together pretty good, and they did on the base, the families and the wives and people going in and out to sea and stuff, and take care and look out for each other. And it was, you didn't have to worry. It was very safe. Didn't have problems on the base. No, sir. Of course, you don't want to get messing around with people's, breaking into people's houses when everybody there's trained military. Yeah, you liable to, break into some Marine's house or some, maybe a Navy SEAL or one of them CBs. Now they ain't gonna fool around with you. So didn't have any problems on the base, needless to say. Well, I'm looking at them tires. I think we can make it a little bit further on them. They're wearing pretty slow. We've got a 56-second lead. Lord, that's almost a minute. Yeah, we're gonna lap a car up here in a second. Going really nice. Boy, it's hot here today. I don't know about where y'all are, but it's about 93, 94 degrees here. And my friend that I was talking about, Gamebox, she's down in South Carolina. And I know it is hot and humid there. Woo, buddy, it sure is. She'll have to go get her one of them watermelons. I know I got me one, a Georgia watermelon. I got that thing cut up. And, oh, Lordy, I ate a bunch of it yesterday and today, and I hope I didn't overdo it, because watermelon will have a negative effect on you sometimes. Well, we're going to have to make a pit stop to get some gas. I see that. Y'all notice down the bottom left, my gas gauge, it's in the red. And then we don't want to run out of gas when we got the lead here and have to coast for a bit. So we'll make a pit stop, and I'll go ahead and change the tires, because I've got the time. Now what I want to do is, when I get up here around this next curve, I'm going to stay to the right, because pit lane's on the right. And I always get a penalty on that. There's my little sign up there that says, low on fuel. There's pit lane. See right there, that yellow line? You got to stay between the yellow lines. Yeah, I believe we've done it this time. We're not going to get that 3-second penalty unless we do it on the out. All right. We're going to put on racing soft tires. And you can see right there, right here where this diamond is, that'll get us to the end of the race. We'll go a little past that. Boom, right there. Yes, sir. We'll have like that paint job on that car. There's Popeye on the hood. Yes, sir. My big old number 77. Yeah, thumbs up, Popeye. Hey, buddy. Toot toot. Eat your spinach and live long and prosper. All right, we'll throw a little sci-fi in with him. So what? It worked for him. He lived long. He's still a kicking. I'll tell you. He can still find his cartoons on the TV. Yes, sir. We're on the 13th lap. So we got this, 2 more laps to go. I think we're in pretty good position to take this race. So I'm very pleased about that. And I hope y'all are enjoying the race and my jibber jaw on here. Yeah. I can sure do it. I could ratchet jaw along with the best of them. Yeah, I guess spending a lot of time alone, I talked to that old man I look at in the mirror. Now, he's about crazy. I tell you, I don't listen to him much anymore. I talk to him, and I don't think he pays no attention to me either. No, surely don't. He just stares at me and then smirks and jibber jaws back. And some people tell me that's bad, that he's jibber jawing back to me. But I don't listen to him. Well, sometimes I do. Darn if he don't get me into trouble every time. He surely does. Yeah, we're going to lap the number 20 car here. Yeah, buddy. Ain't these fine looking vehicles? Man, look at that. Look at that car. Now you can see how it is. It's difficult to drive here in the cockpit, because I can't see good enough. I even got the reflection up from that hood up on my windshield. Ain't that something now? I never had it like that. Well, we're going to get out of this mode before we wreck. I may have lost my clean race on that last curve messing around with that stuff. Because I sure did get wide on that curve, and if I got all 4 tires over off the racetrack, then there went my clean race. Lord, sometimes I just don't learn, do I? You see the fella on the side here sometimes when it's a race like this, they'll be waving a blue flag around, and at nighttime they got a blue light that they flash. And what that is, they use that in racing as a signal that the lead car is just behind you and he's going to be passing you. You give him the right of way. Give that lead car the right of way. And that's what that guy right there did. He moved over out of the racing lane and let me have the racing lane. So I think that's pretty neat. I guess they do it in real life like that. I don't know. Y'all drop comments and let me know. I appreciate it. I appreciate enjoy this. Yeah, give me a like and a follow. Yeah, that'd be nice. I think we're getting ready to start the last lap here. I will let this race rerun. I don't know if I'll do the whole thing, but I'll do a good bit of it because it's just fun to watch, because it's like watching it on TV, ain't it? Well, you probably are watching on TV. Well, I guess some people watching on their phone. I like watching it on TV because they get that big screen. That phone, that screen's a little too little for me. I spent a lot of years with just a small screen of watching TV, and now we got these big, huge TVs. Lord, they cover the whole wall up. Hey, something else, I tell you. Flat, and you got one person to carry the thing. I tell you couldn't do that back in the day. Oh, my friend there that could tell you that. Yeah, Game Box would tell you. It used to be TVs. Took two men and a boy to pick them up. They were huge. That big old picture tube in them, and all them other tubes that were in them. And always having to call the repairman out. The repairman would come to your house, fix your TV, test them tubes. Yeah, he did. If you had to take it in the shop, oh, you got a serious problem, man. All right, we're coming up toward the finish line here. Going to wrap up this race. Then we'll sit back and watch it together for a spell. Yeah. Low on fuel, it don't make no never mind. I'm low on fuel because we're about to over the race. Yes, sir. A little bit to go right down here, be it a checkered flag. You'll see the fella up there waving his checkered skivvies in the air. There you go. Look at that fine looking automobile. You get some more looks at it here. My fancy paint job and them green wheels. Yeah, Alice said we won by 52 and more than about 0.675 seconds. 52. Boy, there's I didn't see no else more. There's a TS050 hybrid in there. It come in 10th. And there's one that came in 12th, another hybrid. Well, we did good. We surely did. Yay for me, we did it. Oh, dadgummit. Give me that bouquet of flowers and a big old smooch. No, not you, George. I don't want a smooch from you. All right, got the clean race bonus. Yeah, that's 50% more credits. Yeah, got our marathon done. All right. Yeah, there's a driving marathon. And here we go. Let's watch this race together. And you can see that's a Porsche Al 750. Fine driving car. I like driving them Porsches. They hold the track good. And like I said, these are prototypes. You used to call them phototypes. I guess you take a photo of them, but they're prototypes. Here at Watkins, Glen, which is really, I like this racetrack, and of course it is a famous one, and they actually have races on it, and I like watching them races. And most of NASCAR is on the oval tracks and stuff, but they do race here at Watkins Glen, and race them NASCARs here. But it is a fine track. Let me drink a little bit of my vinegar water here. Alrighty. And if y'all tuning in for the first time, this is an official Navy Dixie Cup white hat. I have it back from when I was a white hat. Later on I made chief and didn't wear these. But it's the sign of a sailor, as most people know, where the Cracker Jack uniform and the white hat. And this one I bought, gee, I guess back in the late 80s. So I've had it a spell. Yeah, it's one of the moths had eaten it up. Still pretty white, but I've been in here racing and I get to sweating of doing this racing. I might scrub this white hat. Yeah. Man, that's fine looking. I like those green wheels on there. I hope y'all do too. And Gamebox, I hope you got tuned in. My friend Gamebox, she's not a real technical minded, you might say. She has a bit problem with it, but sometimes I'm able to help her out a little bit, and sometimes I'm just too far away. I can't do it. But I know one thing, I enjoy fishing with her for the last 3 or 4 years, and just a chatting, and sometimes we just fish and be quiet, just like anybody that's down on the river or at a pond of fishing. Sometimes you talk, sometimes you don't. Just put the worm on a hook and just let it go out there and swim around or drown. But that's a fine. We both enjoy that virtual reality. She learned to use that. Her son helped her, and she's done it now long enough she could get on that virtual reality on real VR fishing and have a good time with it. It's with the Meta Quest 3. Yeah, and we do enjoy that. And one of these days I'll learn how to stream it. And oh, that'll be exciting to watch us fish. Yeah, it'd probably be like watching paint drying, but yeah, we have a good time with it. And I hope you do like the races here. And I'm not going to run the whole race for you. I don't want you being bored. And if you'd rather watch the whole race, well, you let me know and I won't cut them short. I certainly won't. See Popeye on the hood of my car there? Yeah. Giving a thumbs up? Yeah. Him there? Yeah. Give him the thumbs up, Popeye. Yeah. Yeah. Now, sometimes when I lose, he's waving with a different finger. No, I'm just kidding you. He's not doing that. No, we keep it clean here. Yeah. Man, those green wheels really, I don't know what that must be, some sort of luminescent paint on them wheels. I don't know what I painted them with or if it's ones I bought, but I do like them. They definitely show up. Yeah, I did a pretty good job decorating that. I got a battleship on that spoiler on the back of the car, on that wing. Maybe you'll get a glimpse of it, maybe you won't. But I did, and I put a couple of chief anchors, one on each side of that battleship. Yep. Veteran drivers. Yeah. We hire a vet. Yeah. Yeah. Need a lot of help. It's a shame to think about veterans being homeless, but it happens. Yeah, it does. And sometimes it's their own choosing, and sometimes it's not, just like it's anybody else. Well, we're doing all right in this race. I'm not going to run the whole thing. I think it'll be kind of boring. I'd tell you about some of the other cars I owned over in Spain, but I don't think there was any others. And the roads were real narrow over there. I did have a moped over there. I surely did. A Peugeot moped. And the thing was, it wasn't one you had to shift gears with. It was 49cc. Didn't have to have no license for it. You had to have this big flag on a pole, just like a bicycle, so people could see you. And well, that thing struggled to get up a hill with me sitting on it. And there was a long hill to get up. I had to go up and get on it, and it was on the base. And that was a thing had a centrifugal clutch. I never heard of such a thing, but that's what it had. And that centrifugal clutch on that Peugeot moped, the faster you went, I guess that belt just rode up on that clutch to a higher spot, and you didn't have to change gears. I had it for a couple of years, and it did good. There was I had one problem with there was some sort of three resistors connected in that thing. Two of them were in series and one in parallel, and those resistors burned up. I don't know what they was in there for or what they did, but it wouldn't work when they was burned up, I'll tell you that. That was, I have no idea what that was about. But anyhow, that was a good little moped, and I rode it for a long time. For a long time, I just rode a bicycle. Matter of fact, for a while there, I'd go down to the junkyard there on the base. I'd buy these old bicycles that were abandoned. They were rusted and pretty bad shape, and some of them were busted up. I'd go down there and buy these old bicycles, and I'd buy some of them that were just parts, and I'd take and make a bicycle. I'd sand them down and paint them, and I'd buy new chains for them, and gear shift cables and brakes, and I'd paint them things up, and then I'd turn around and sell them. I'd make a little extra money doing that. And it came in handy. It surely did. I didn't make no big profit in them, and make a few dollars. I didn't even count my time. I didn't worry about that. I reckon I should have, but I didn't. I just wanted to turn them over and see if I could make a couple extra dollars to help the family out to do a little better. So it was interesting times over there. It really was. Never had any issues. Did come back to the States. Was over there for 4 years, and that's a long time to be out of States. And, well, the second time I was there, I'd been out to sea for a year in the Pacific. Got back, and they transferred me. I went to, I started off in Spain. That's what it was. I was in Spain for 4 years. Then I went to the Pacific for a year. So that was 5 years I was away from the home. But at that 4 years in Spain, at least I had my family with me there. So. But that's the sacrifices you make sometimes, and well, it's paying off now, I guess, with the benefits. But there's pros and cons to it, that's for sure, and it's not for everybody. All right, let's see what we can do here. I think I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and I hope my friend, because sitting inside that. Oh, that's another car. Oh, I know what I did. I hit that button again. Yeah, I hit that button. It swaps cars. There's a 20 car and 19. I didn't know they did the inside view on this car like they did with that one. Yeah. You can follow different cars during the race, so I can use my PlayStation controller. There's one like sort of like a paint job I've got on that. Huh. There we go. Back up here to number 1. We're in first place, and that's how we ended the race on that big number 77. And I'm going to say right now, I'm going to let it be. I thank y'all for watching. Drop a comment. Give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And tell your friends, and hopefully give me a follow. I'd really appreciate that. Surely would. So y'all have a good day. Stay cool in this heat wave, and I'll catch you next time around. We'll catch you next time. Take care.